What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Jay. So, I made a promise I was going to start doing these videos. Story videos, gas station videos, just life in general, what I've gone through in my life. But I decided to do something a little bit different. We're gonna go back down to memory lane. Um, it's a point in my time and a point in my life that I really witnessed something that was tragic in my life. First-hand experience. All right. So, when I was in my early 20s, I joined the Navy. Went to boot camp, went to my school, blah, 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 blah. Went to my first ship. I got on my first ship, and I met some of the people that was on there, some of the other sailors that was on there, and we all clicked up. We all clicked. We all hung out and everything, sat, played cards, whatever, what have you. We're all just a bunch of, basically, we're kids, pretty much 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, just sitting around, just talking and everything. So we get to go on our first deployment, which was a Westpac. And for my Navy guys, you already know what a Westpac is. For everybody else in civilian life, a Westpac is what they call a Western Pacific cruise. Is where you tour the western part of the world. And anybody that knows Navy, anything on the Westpac is all party ports. Anything on the Westpac. All right. So, with that being said, this kid by the name of William Parkhill, awesome kid, man, awesome. He just got married. This was his first duty station, if I remember correctly, being on the same ship I was. We were both in Bremerton, Washington at the time at the Naval Kitsap and at the Bremerton Station, the USS Camden, which is now currently decommissioned. Um, we all we ended up. I met him through a mutual friend, or through the mutual sailing and everything. So, like I said, we all stayed, we all kicked it and everything, and became good friends. So when the time to go to our first port, we we did the whole buddy system and everything. So we went out and had fun. So our very first port was Singapore. Very first port. We get off the boat. Me, Parkhill, about maybe four or five others. That was with us at the time. We had like a little group going on. We just bar hopped the whole entire time. And they have a beer in Singapore that's called a tiger beer. It's a sweet beer and it's a good beer, but it will get you fucked up and you won't realize it. You won't realize it. I don't know how it is now. It's 2022. This was in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s that this happened. So we're bar hopping, we're drinking, we're just having a good time. Well, it got to the point where Parkhill kind of got a little bit more twisted than the most of us. Let's be honest, we all got twisted. We were all drunk sailors. So on the way back, Parkhill was getting kind of sick. He was getting a little bit, not too well and everything. So we all decided, it was like, all right, let's take him back to the ship. So we took him back to the ship. and we left. And in the process of us leaving, nobody really thought to do like a watch, just sit there and just watch him and make sure he don't, wander off or anything like that. No, we didn't really think like that. Like I said, we were young, but anyhow, so we left and we kept on continuing to party and everything as being in Singapore. Then we got back on the boat and we left. Now, the very next morning, if I remember correctly, if my recollection, I think the morning of, or the following morning, or within that day, we did an emergency muster, which is basically an attendance gathering. So we mustered up on our deck and everything, and we were taking muster, and Parkhill was missing. We're looking around like, okay, he must be fucked up, he still must be out. This is actually, let me rephrase that. So yeah, this was the morning of our underway when we took off, when we left. We got back up. Now, mind you, we're still kind of a little bit messed up at the same time, but we still got made muster. So when we got to muster, they called our names, and then they called Parkhill's name, and he didn't respond. He didn't show up. So we went to the barracks, or to our berthing area, our sleeping area, and we went to his rack, and he wasn't there at all. So we're like, okay, where the hell is he? Like I said, by this time we're already de-anchored and pulled off. We're already underway. So we're like, where is he? What's going on? So we do a whole PA and to try to find him. Fireman Fireman William Parkhill. Blah blah blah. Please report to the main office, or please report to main one, or please report to P2. Whatever. Please report to the chief engine. Please report to the Chang office. Did a whole PA system, and he didn't respond. So at this point in time, we're kind of worried. We really are. We're thinking he might be, back on shore or something like that. We don't know. So after about a couple of days, it was about 2 days, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 days. One of the gunner's mates, who happened to be down in the ammo room at the time, happened to find Parkhill. He was laying face down, if I remember correctly, all twisted, if I'm not mistaken, like laying kind of face down, but like a little bit twisted and contorted. Um, so we had to get the medical and everything and bring him up and stuff like that. They had him stretchered and stuff, and of course he ended up dying. He passed away. Uh, what his cause was, well, what the theory is, what the theory has been told, because everybody that was with him was investigated. I was investigated. A couple of other people were investigated. They asked, okay, well, what happened? We told the story. Like, look, we went out, we drank. He got completely shit faced. We brought him back, and we left. That's it. That's all we know. So the theory is what they believe happened is the fact of he probably got up when he was still shit faced, probably trying to find a way off the ship just to go partying again, because he felt like that he can probably, he probably got like a second wind, but was still kind of drunk, you know what I mean? And in the process fell. Now, I want to make this perfectly clear. When he fell, I believe he fell into like a cargo elevator shaft that was 6 floors down. And anybody that's ever been on a naval ship knows that's a long fucking way. 6 fucking floors. That's a long fucking way down. Period. Being on those big ass ships, yeah, 6 floors. You really don't think that 6 floors is not that. It's you guys think on a ship, or when you look at a ship, you don't understand that there are really deep parts in the levels of the ship, real deep. So those levels, man, they're a really long drop to be down. Okay, period. To go down, good 100 feet, if not better. Serious. So he fell. Parkhill fell to his death. He was probably 20, just turned 20, something like that. Most of us didn't take it well. Um, One of his friends, one of his really good friends that he went to boot camp with, didn't take it well. He really didn't. He broke down, and that was a very traumatic experience just to see. Now I saw pictures of I saw parts of the picture. I didn't see a whole picture of him just being contorted. I just seen where his leg was broken. I saw his arm was completely snapped with blood coming out of his arm and a bone protruding. Um, I saw where his legs were, where his femur and his pelvis and everything were snapped. It was completely horrible. It was the worst thing that you can ever imagine. They didn't show me his head or his chest or anything like that because they said it was pretty gruesome. But they showed us. We identified him as Parkhill, you know, when we were investigating stuff like that. So it's been some time ago. William Parkhill, man, I've only known you for a short time, but you seem to be an awesome individual, man. And I'm sorry that your life got cut so short. I really am. In hindsight, we should have. One of us should have stayed back and stood a drunk watch. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that you didn't. Yeah, it's a little bit ironic, man. It really is. But yeah, I'm gonna start posting these stories and everything. So my life.